Hey guys, what is going on? Gear End here, Fatal 100 Quest, Chapter 96. Let's get right into it, as it's the battle between Laxus and the Dragon Knight. The very first panel, the front cover, is the Laxus looking like he's going on a date in a very dark country. You can notice that it's the Fiora capital because of the castle in the back, but where is he going, I wonder? On a date maybe? And then, the very first panel is the Laxus front of the yellow Dragon Knight, Kirin. And of course the other two, the Diablos members, are knocked out behind Laxus because Laxus destroyed them in the previous chapter. Then what happens is it looks like Kirin again is reintroduced in the panel because it looks like he's just showing off and it's just saying like he's the yellow Dragon Knight. And then Laxus gets pissed off and the other two start saying, how is he so powerful? Sorry we weren't able to do much. And now it's going to be down because what's going to happen next is, let's just say Kirin, after seeing that he easily destroyed the other two Diablos members with ease, he takes off the coffin off his back, which Laxus notices, and he's a little bit shocked, and then Kirin starts to open it. So now we're finally going to see what is this giant coffin that he's been holding ever since he was first introduced. What happens is Laxus and Kirin just talk for a bit, like saying, I'm just going to defeat you and everything. So just having a little bit of a talk. And then Kirin, he just snaps his fingers. What does that mean? Well, after snapping his fingers, something happens to Laxus. A little bit of an explosion goes off and he is pushed back by some unknown force. Literally invisible, and he is pushed back. And then before Laxus can get back on his feet and try and figure out what's going on, multiple attacks are being launched by Kirin and they are all landing on Laxus because he's getting literally destroyed and blown up everywhere that he can't keep track of it. And he tries to, when he gets back on his feet, he tries to attack Kirin by going headfirst into him, and he even uses his lightning elemental magic to try and attack him. But for some reason, there's a barrier surrounding Kirin and he was able to negate it. It was a powerful lightning attack by Laxus, the Dragon Slayer, and Kirin was able to negate it thanks to his magic. And after Kirin negated it, he said something to Laxus which shocked Laxus a bit, and then after clicking the fingers yet again, he launches another attack, but this time it was even bigger than the previous ones. But Laxus did not take that down. What he did was he actually got up, using his lightning magic, he launched a lightning full-on attack and tried to punch Kirin, but again, the barrier was blocking them so that Kirin was undamaged by Laxus's attack and it literally was negated. And then as Kirin was just rubbing it in, talking about how your attack was stopped, he pushes him back using just one hand and Laxus is really down bad. So this is a bad fight for Laxus because now he's starting to bleed and you can tell he's been really beaten up in a few moments by Kirin. And then in the next panel, what happens is Kirin starts to just tell Laxus about his magic, about what was in the coffin, whilst Laxus is sort of knocked out, unconscious on the floor. And then he says, well, he surprisingly gets up, even though he'd been beaten down very badly. He is a Fatal member after all, so he got up, and the other two Diablos members are a little bit shocked, thinking, how is he able to fight equally versus Lord Kirin? And as Laxus gets up, well, the Kirin guy starts to get a little bit peeved, thinking, why are you standing up? You are literally getting destroyed by me. I've not even lifted a finger yet, and you are so badly beaten. And Laxus, being Laxus, as he is standing up in the next panel, he launches a very powerful lightning attack, which is blocked by the barrier again, which Kirin doesn't understand why he's doing another attack. And then in the next panel, Laxus goes up to Kirin, pushing his body and trying to go in for close combat. And as he's trying to go in for the close combat, Kirin pushes him away using the unknown magic yet again and really cutting up Laxus's body. But as Laxus is being pushed away by Kirin, Laxus does a familiar type of magic, uses a very red lightning magic, which we can tell because what it shows in the next panel is Laxus is fusing his blood with his lightning, creating the blood lightning that we saw in Fatal Final Series. and for some unknown reason, when Laxus launched this attack, it actually did hurt Kirin. Kirin got very damaged by this attack because it was literally a punch to the face that was through this unbreakable barrier, and the only way Laxus was able to get through it was thanks to his blood lightning. Very peculiar barrier and very unusual magic by the Yellow Star Dragon Knight. But then, in the next panel, and this was very satisfying to see, Laxus really pushed Kirin back and used a lot of his power in that one punch. And you can tell it was a lot because in the next slide, Kirin is quite badly beaten down because it looks like he just got one shot by Laxus. But as Laxus is pushing back Kirin and Kirin is just falling backwards thanks to Laxus' powerful attack, everyone is shocked. The Diablos members are shocked, thinking, how was he able to land an attack? How was he able to get through the barrier? But Laxus, he knows the battle is not over yet. He knows that Kirin is not that easy to defeat, because if he was, he would not be a Dragon Knight. Because in the next slide, Kirin actually does get up from the attack and he starts to smile a bit, which is quite unusual, thinking, well, I just got an attack launched from me by an enemy and they were able to get through my magic, which normal people wouldn't be able to get through to. So he's enjoying it, and in the next panel he is actually going to get very, very serious right now, because he's going to take Laxus as a serious opponent. And even Laxus, from that aura, he was getting a little bit scared, thinking, wow. But the guy wasn't serious before, but he's very serious now, and he could feel the pressure coming off him. So that is the end of the battle between those two. So that was a interesting start to their very, you could say it's going to be a very powerful battle between those two, where they're both going to push it and pass the limit. But who's going to win? I have yet to determine who's going to win between those two. So then in the next panel, it's going to go back to the crew in their plushie form, being chased by that plushie monster, and they are just running for their lives. In the next one, it looks like they are still just running away. Everyone is trying to think about what they can do, how they can fight back versus the monster. And just as they were just running, Lucy thinks of the idea and summons Leo, which not so unhappy are clueless on what Lucy's about to do. And then Lucy begs Leo to help him, but Leo, let's say he doesn't want to help him, or he really can't help him because he's in the doll form. And remember, whenever somebody's in the doll form, their magic is drastically reduced, so they aren't as powerful as they usually would be. So then in the next panel, Leo starts to run with the crew, and let's just say Natsu's a little bit peeved off, thinking, what are you guys useful for? Which does make sense because they've literally been not useful at all. But then Leo starts to annoy Natsu, and let's just say Leo starts to turn back. And as he turns back, Lucy summons Arius, and she launches her Cloud of Fluff attack, which suffocates the monster. And as it is suffocated, Natsu jumps on top of it from behind, and just as Natsu's on top of it, Leo launches a light attack, which is not as powerful as it usually would be because we know how powerful his attacks are. It is powerful enough though to actually hurt the monster, because in the next panel, Natsu's on top of it, and as he is on top of it, he sees a laser coming from Leo, and it is actually starting to burn the monster. So in the next panel, Leo has said, job well done, now get off the monster, which Natsu jumps off, and then the monster is fully defeated, and Happy is celebrating, thinking, yes, we defeated the monster even though we've got 1/10 of our power. But this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So remember those marbles from the previous chapter when the other dragon slayer from Diablos was defeating these monsters? Well, a little marble was popping up because as the smoke was going away and the crew were thinking, is the monster defeated? A little marble just popped up, and Natsu picks it up out of nowhere, and Lucy sends back the 2 spirits that she just summoned. Unusual because they have no clue what's going on, and Natsu is pissed off to his limits right now because he's really annoyed that he's still a plushie and he really wants to fight Haku. So you can tell Natsu is very peeved off at the moment. And now we are entering our final panel, where it is going to another place. So we've gone to literally 3 places in this one chapter. And who is at this end of the corridor? Well, it's Wendy and Lily, who are both tired out after running away from the giant boulder. And the chapter ends off with one of the biggest cliffhangers, which is Wendy versus Haku. So Wendy and Lily versus the Dragon Knight Haku. That is going to be the next chapter in chapter 97. But let me know down below, what did you think of Fatal 100 Year Quest chapter 96? Did you enjoy the fight? Do you think it could have been better? Or are you hyped to see that Laxus is going to go full serious mode versus this Dragon Knight? And we're going to see some of the Dragon Knight's true power. Let me know by dropping a comment below. And if you enjoyed the video and want to see more, subscribe to the channel and drop a like. Thank you guys for watching. Take care and peace.